Hey guys, it's Alex Benega. Thanks for tuning in to another video mock-up review where I go over my portfolio work in fireworks and kind of go over the concept and ideas I had while actually working on the project itself. Okay? So today we're going to be going over Jack Steinheimer's real estate logo. So this was a client of mine who my stepdad had referred me to. He just moved to the KW office, and my stepdad gave me his information. I contacted Jack, and we worked out a kind of project-based deal where I made his logo, his banner, his letterhead, and his business cards. And this was kind of the first step that I came about doing was the logo. And what I went about doing was I designed this kind of as classic and modern, and I just wanted this to be clean and simple. A lot of great logo designers talk about it being timeless is the word, and that just means that in 50 years from now, can it last through the logo ages? And in 2001 and stuff like that, a lot of logos could not. They were using big gradients and crazy drop shadows that just didn't last in the 2013 world. So that's why you saw a lot of companies change up their logos and got really simple. Microsoft was one of them. Apple was one of them. So that's just kind of the concept I use. I just wanted this one to be timeless. So I came up with this one. And the icon for this logo is just kind of a side view of a house. And at first I kind of came up with something like that, but that wasn't looking too good. It kind of looked like a heartbeat to me, and only kind of I knew what it was, a roof for a side view of a house. But then when I added like the side view, it put a lot of it kind of set the tone and the mood for the logo. And as you know, Keller Williams is a real estate company, so they sell homes and so forth with that. So I wanted to integrate something that had to do with the house for Jack, and I came up with this. And then for the text, I just used a light font and then the same font but bolder. And that's a really big trend that's going on right now. That it just looks very appealing to the eye. And then once again, it's just timeless. But at first, I didn't want to go with that. The first thing I went with was a Helvetica font, and I just used just a regular light and made this medium. So you can kind of see it's about the same, but the only difference is it was too. It looked too like it was already looking old, and a lot of logos already use Helvetica, so I kind of wanted something more modern and that was different. So that's when I came about finding this font called Nexta, and what this font is it's a free font online, and I downloaded it, and it just has really clean lines, and I think it adds a lot of modernness and kind of crispness to the logo. So that's what I use for the font. So if you're a designer, check out that font. It's a beautiful font. And then just the KW, he had to have that, so that's why we put that there. And that was that for the logo. Okay, and then this was just the mock-up that I put it in. So what this is all it is it's a template. I downloaded it from this website. I forgot what it was called. I'll put that in the description below. But anyways, I downloaded it from a website, and what it is, it's just like a Photoshop file that you open up, and it has already placed logos right there, and then you just replace that logo or image, whatever it was, with your current logo, and it places them in this kind of look as if I had printed these and just stacked them and took a really nice photo of his logo, like it's already live or something. So actually it's not live, this is just all done in Photoshop, and I just bought kind of a theme and plugged everything in. And this is something, I'm going to start doing for every client from this point on, and that's just because it kind of brings the logo to life immediately. So they can already kind of see how it would look in certain situations, like a trifold folder or just a plain sheet of paper or the back of an envelope and stuff like that. So I think clients, once they see this, it's something about just seeing your logo live and already printed on stuff just adds a sort of like already engagement to it. And I think that's why he said, he liked it the first time I sent it to him. It's because I sent it to him like this, and I've never done that for any of my past clients. And I think, I'm gonna start doing that because I've never had a client say they liked the logo the first time. There's always tons of tweaks and let's try this, but Jack loved it off the first one. So that's something I really recommend to you designers out there. Really, if you're designing a logo, just try to make it look as pretty as possible when displaying it to your client for the first time. I wish I would have learned this way back probably a year ago when I was really getting into logos, because I had to keep going back and forth and back and forth, and I think this would have really changed up my situation had I done it this way. Okay, and then his business card. So once again, we're using a template. I'm not sure if this is, I downloaded like 2 or 3 templates from this site where I just had to pay and buy this Photoshop file and plug it in. I think they were, but anyways, it just shows that like almost like I printed a couple hundred business cards, and it's already printed and live, and that's how I displayed it. I displayed it to him like this. Once again, he fell in love with it, but then he just told me he couldn't really see these words clearly because it's like a side view, so it adds like that fading effect. Like as if I did print it, it wouldn't be that clear because it's kind of slanted and fading. So I had to send him a up close screen capture of the mock-up I did in Adobe Fireworks, which he loved. But anyways, yeah, I just used that template. Really adds depth to anything you're trying to display to your clients. And then for the business card, I just use, once again, I just try to make it timeless and clean. So all this is just a white background. Here's Jack. He had a green background behind him. I just went into Photoshop and took that out. And then we just have a plain black bar with the KW logo. His logo right there, all his contact information, and then Jack Steinheimer, so his name. And one thing you might notice is when we go to his logo, you can see Jack Steinheimer. The word Jack is light, and here it's bold. So you might be asking, why didn't you keep it consistent? And the reason for this is it just looked better. So although you're supposed to keep the logo consistent everywhere, I think the font is consistent and the icon is consistent. So I think font weight is not consistent, but I think it didn't really make that big of a deal, and plus it looked a lot better bolding his first and last name, so that's the reason I did this. And then the back of his card, just once again crazy simple but timeless. So that's the back of his card. And then Jack's letterhead. So if you guys aren't familiar with what a letterhead is, it's kind of just the template that you would display text on if you were to print out a piece of paper or document and you wanted to give it to someone in their hands or something. So imagine this being like, if this was just text of like a document that Jack had to send over to one of his clients, he could actually type out everything he needs on a Microsoft Word template, and then when he would print it, it would come out on this paper displaying already his logo and all his contact information. So it's kind of like a really useful thing, and I see a lot of real estate agents and real estate people use this. And then just the custom email banner. So this was actually the photo. So this was blown up. So you can see I just took the green background and that's him right there without it, and that's him there with it. I kind of, I don't know, I did this one on purpose. I just left it there just because without it, it just was a little bit too much plain, and for an email banner, I thought it was fine. Then we just have this contact information. Here is actually his logo again, DRE number, and then for this, I did a little page curl, and then it would display KW. So that was, a little something creative I wanted to throw in. Although I was sticking with a timeless manner, I thought that was a creative edge to maybe his banner would draw like whoever's reading his email, the eyes straight to that. So that's what I came up with for that. Alright, well, thanks for tuning in to another video review mock-up. Remember, I do these for everything that I make and display it on my portfolio, from websites to logos. And if you have any questions or you would like me to do something similar to this for you, please email me or contact me on my website. And yeah, so more to come. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk soon.